La, 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 la. I'm wishing everyone a good International Women's Day, which has been already 2 days ago, but still celebrating. Alrighty then, let's start. Let me put the subject. For those who joining and watching the record, hi who's joining right now, and hi who's joining later and watching the record of the live. What kind of a subject? 5 languages of love. Yes, 5 languages. 5 languages of love. Hi, welcome everyone. 5 languages of love. This is actually going after the book. According to the book of Dr. Gary Chapman. So we're just gonna mark him in the subject. Let me put them 5 languages like this. By Dr. Gary Chapman. Hi, hello to everyone. Doo-doo-doo. Hello to everyone who's joining this channel and this live. Yes, let's put like this. Hi to everyone who's here and who's joining up later. My name is Marina, and I am introducing and I'm representing Mila Levchuk on this account, an English-speaking account. Like, as you know, that Mila is going on international markets, so let's introduce Mila's vision and actually what is she teaching, what is she doing with girls, to relationship, and all her strategy. This thing is going international right now, so welcome to this channel again. Let me have a sip of. Okay, I dropped a little. Welcome, and glad to see you live on this account, on this live. So we're talking today about 5 languages of love. This subject, this theme was inspired by the book by Dr. Gary Chapman. That's the man who actually wrote the book that's exactly called 5 Languages of Love. The book has saved already like millions, probably, I don't know, thousands or millions and 10,000s couples in the world who are married, who's in a relationship, and actually made a really good contribution in that. I think it was sold like 10 million copies of that. 10 at least. It's like huge. The first one was several thousand copies as usual, but now the book is like 25 years old, I think, like that, and there was like so many copies sold throughout the world. I don't remember how many languages is there, but there's pretty a lot. I hope you know what kind of book is that. If not, then you should stay tuned on this, watch this video that's gonna explain you what actually this is. So we all have this thing that, like, we have our own language. Everybody that you know, anybody who you know, you yourself, you have your way of perception of love. This is exactly the way that you feel that you're loved. You know, you can do so many things with your partner, and you can receive so many actions from your partner, and different things gonna feel differently. And some actions of your spouse or your partner, anyone, like basically anyone, can make you feel like you're in cloud number 9. You're really loved, and they care about you. And some actions that they do, you might feel nothing. You just like, okay, that's really nice, but it doesn't make you feel anything. You know what I mean? So you can actually do a lot of things, and you can receive a lot of things, but not all those things are actually make the other person feel like they're loved. Okay, if you don't mind, I'm gonna switch this filter. It's kind of annoying. That is a nice one. Yeah, those hearts are just like flying around. It just makes me feel like what's going on. Oh, ooh. Alrighty then. Yeah, just a normal. Let's do this one. You don't mind? So, I got a small preparation here. So basically, there's like 5 main languages that they're distinct on some different levels. They're kind of like split in the different sections, but basically there's 5 languages. I actually got prepared today, so I got this. What do we have? I got like 5 balloons here. Oh! And each one is signed, and each one has like the language of love that I'm gonna talk about. So you're not gonna see it, but you need to trust me. So, which one am I gonna take first? No, I want a different one. I don't know why, but I want to start with this one. You don't mind? You know, it looks like a lottery ticket or something. So, this one is quality time together. I don't know if you see that. So, let's go with the first one, quality time. That means, like, let's take that you're actually keen on that love language. So basically for you, it's really important that you spend a lot of time with your partner, right? With your partner, maybe in your family. By the way, that doesn't only work within like couples. Of course, we're talking about the couples and relationship in general, but if you want to actually have like improve your relationship with your sister, brother, mother, father, anyone that you want just build a stronger connection, you can use this one. Of course, it might be not really relevant for work situations, but when there's love involved, it doesn't matter if it's a couple, if it's like a love, but some kind of a relationship, then you're just gonna make the person feel himself better, feel just better in general, not himself, but just like feeling like, you know, they have wings, they can fly. So quality time together, it just basically means that you're spending somewhat time together, some kind of. Oh, thank you for your hearts. So basically that you're going out together, maybe you're spending time together. It's really important that you're making an eye contact and you're not like, you know, stick to your phone and doing everything there, or distracting all the time, or just like, you know, like sometimes, you know, mothers being like, or nannies being with the children, and they just like, okay, I'm here, I'm checking up on them, but they just basically doing something with their phone, or they doing some kind of a, like something that is not relevant to the children. When you spend any time together in one room, but you don't pay attention to the person whose love language is actually quality time together, that doesn't count. He's not gonna feel himself like he actually loved, like he's being taken care of. He's not going to develop this feeling that everything is so great, you know. It has to be a really quality time. So basically whenever you're doing something like ditching on them on the date, for example, when you just cancel on a date, yeah, let's take like this. If you're canceling on a date, if you're being late, if you're choosing to spend some time with your friends rather than with your partner, he really feels unloved, you know. Yes, of course, a lot of couples, they want to spend the time together, but like they're not necessarily like this, like quality time, you know. For some couples, it's even enough to be in the same apartment, but he can be reading a book, she can be using her phone, or he can be doing some kind of a handcrafting thing, and she's gonna be cooking dinner. What kind of a universe is it happening nowadays? I'm not really sure, but I mean, sorry if I'm mumbling. If I'm talking too fast, please stop me, please, because sometimes I'm going just like limitless. So it's important that you don't like spend time in the one premise and just in the same room, and that's all that common. No, you have to actually share something with each other. you have to have this eye contact. You have to pay attention to what the other person is doing. So if it's for you, if it's your language, then yeah, you just talk about it and just say like, yeah, I like to spend the time together, and I want you to put the phone down. I want you to cancel on your friends. I want you to, if I want you to be here, if I'm like feeling vulnerable, that's a hard word. Vulnerable. If you're feeling like down and you actually want to feel loved, if your love language is quality time, you need the person that you receive love from, that your partner, your husband, your boyfriend, your friend, your sister, your brother, or whatever, just to spend the time with you. Ask about it. Don't be ashamed of that. Don't be like really like insecure about that. This is a person that you love. You can just tell them that, you know, my love language is actually quality time together. So I would rather you two stay in tonight, and we would have some time, because I actually need it, if you need so, right? And if you need if you know that your partner's love language is quality time together, then do so. You have to stay with this person for quite a while and just spend the time together. But because this is actually what's building a relationship, because, you know, a lot of relationships just fade away and just go downhill, and you don't even know why. This is because you don't have like enough of love received and expressed, and just in general, you don't have your couple fueled with this kind of love, because you just don't feel so. And what I didn't say in the beginning, that basically if your love languages are different, they usually are, then it's really hard to communicate and actually understand other person. There's a reason it's called a language. Actually, that means that if you don't have the same love language, it's pretty much the same that if you're learning other like foreign language, like you're learning English, you speak in English, you learn Dutch or German, or you learn Thai, God forbid, you know. So it's not that easy, but you have to understand, and you have to put efforts in that. So second love language, let's go to the second love language. Which one is this? Words of affirmation. You see that? It's really hard to see. But the second one is words of affirmation. What does it mean? Is it you actually really love to receive those kind of words, that actually like love words. So you say a lot of compliments. Like if you want to contribute to your partner, you say him a lot of compliments. You say that you love him. You say that like everything that they wants to hear. You say that you appreciate him, that you support him, and you basically like express everything through your words, you know. Because if in the first place, if first language which was the quality time together, you can actually just be together and just watch each other in the eyes. Maybe not even talking. Maybe you're gonna play PlayStation, you know. Maybe you're gonna playing like a air hockey or something. But the main thing that you're involved in the conversation together, in the quality time together. When your love language is the words of affirmation, you can basically text or do some kind of a voice message or something like that, and this is gonna be like rather enough in order to your person, to a partner, to feel loved. And of course, if you feel that your love language is words, when you understand that you're loved, when you hear those nice words, then of course you have to tell it, you have to say it. Your love language is words, so for God's sake, just start to speak, and this is gonna basically resolve a lot of things there. And what can be really hurtful in these situations is, of course, when you start to argue and use some kind of a bad language with your partner, when you receive those kind of words. If your word, like remember, if your love language is words of affirmation, then remember, when you have something really hurtful coming from your close person, and it hurts you really much, right? Like when you have some kind of a maybe insulting word, some kind of a, like, this is really not you should not use that if your partner's love language is words of affirmation, and just don't shout out any like bad things, like, and insulting things during your fight or something. You can break something that he owns. You can do something like, you know, you can shatter his phone, you can slam the door, you can leave him and leave him alone. Like, don't do anything physical, of course, but just don't use words, because words like makes him feel the most loved, and words hurts him the most. So don't do that. Now make sure that you're doing that. And if you want to just to improve your relationship, just make some kind of a ritual, like every day or every week. It depends on how big is the thing. Just do something. Just write something. Just text something or say something. For a lot of people, by the way, with this language, it goes really, really hard, because for a lot of people, it's really hard to actually start to speak. It's to actually, you know, it's not just saying like, you know, I love you, you're beautiful. It's actually saying, you know, like, do you remember the time that my mother died? That, like, and I felt so broken, and I wouldn't be there without you. I wouldn't be here without you, because I was so broken, and I appreciate that you supported me so much at that moment when I had like a really, really rough time, really, really hard things going on, right? So I really appreciate that. Like, you know, it's not that really easy for people to say, like, in a lot of situations, a lot of cases, a lot of people just like are not used to saying that to my spouse. Like, you know, we work really, really good without it. Like, you know, what did I hear from Dr. Gary Chapman, by the way, himself, in one of the interviews, that he just said, like, you know, just read. They're just like, I don't even know what to say. What exactly should I say? Like, I never do that. But when you actually know that your partner's name for love language is words of affirmation, you gotta do that. So you just write down some kind of a, like, maybe cheesy words from internet, or from When Harry Met Sally, or something like that. You know, you just find the any kind of a nice speech that filled with love. And you, first of all, you read it in front of the mirror. You just like start, okay, this is silly. I feel stupid. I feel ridiculous. I don't want to do this. Like, but just read it. And then after a while, just try to read it to your partner, to your spouse, right? So you can read it and run away, right? Because it's scary to open up your heart, because what words of affirmation is actually you're opening up your heart, and you're saying to your partner how you appreciate him. You know, it seems like it's not my love language. Whenever I talk about it, it's hard for me to say that. Like, at least I'm not used to saying that. I should. So, you know, and a lot of people just like, yeah, she already knows I love her. Well, she wants to hear that. Or he already knows I love him. Well, you know, he needs to feel that. And he needs you to say that you love him, and what do you love him for, right? So, and if it's hard for you to do it, just start to do that. Just start to say, like, you can text first, saying I love you, and then saying what do you love the person for, because this one is important as well. If the person's love language is words of affirmation, that means that he wants to, like, he wants to hear it deeply. It's not just like compliments and nice words and here and then. This is like, if you want to develop something deep and meaningful, this is going deep and meaningful, right? So get used to talk about stuff, right? Because this is how you contribute to your relationship. And if it's yours, love language, a lot of times it happens for the girls, you know. So we really love the words of affirmation, like, you know, we love with our ears. And if so, say so. If so, just say that you want to hear something more from your spouse. Yeah, that's not that really easy. Men don't usually like to talk about these stuff, but you gotta say that. Okay, next. Again. Dun, 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 dun. Can you see that? Okay, next one is, okay, this is almost gone. Physical touch. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Maybe the favorite one, but I still don't really understand if it's so. So, physical touch. No, I want to have it. My love language is physical touch, so I'm going to physically touch this balloon. So, physical touch, that not necessarily means sex right away, right? But of course it is in a big time. And a lot of men actually think that their love language is physical touch because of obvious reasons, because of sex, of course. But it's not that really is, you know, when you actually have like the abundance of sex, and at one point you still want to have something more with your partner, like if your love language is presence or time together, didn't get to presence, but like time spent together, then you understand that your love language is not physical touch. Physical touch is just sex, you know. It's one of the things, like, yeah, if you have more sex and your physical in your love language is physical touch, then probably, but it's not necessarily so. If you it's all that touches there is, you know, holding arms, hugging each other, hugging others person, you know, doing everything that like connected with a physical touch. If your love language, if your partner's love language is touching, make him a massage, do a massage, like, you know, here and there, and touch him as much as you want, as he wants, as much as you can, actually, as much as you can afford, like right now at the moment, as much as it's possible. Kiss him whenever, here and there, whenever you can make it. Don't kiss somewhere in church or in kindergarten, but it's really important thing to do if your partner's love language is physical touch, right? Again, don't miss it out, like that's just because you love sex, this is your love language. It's not necessarily like that, although it has some kind of a connection, of course. And if it's your love language, his love language, your partner's love language, what not to do? Of course, physical abuse, but you should not do that at all. But I mean, this is the, like, when you hug your partner, and that he really feels loved, and he really feels like supported, and he feels all these warm feelings that actually fuels your love. And of course, if you're gonna do the physical violence for that type of person, this is gonna be unforgettably bad. Is gonna be hurt the most of all the people with all the kind of different languages. And the other thing that you should not do, should not ignore these need. If you don't like to be touched, but your partner is to be touched, this is a challenge for you, because yeah, you would, if you don't like this physical thing, you would need to learn how to hug your person, how to hug your partner, because this is something that's important for him. You're doing it for him, and you're doing it for your relationship, right? So make a move and learn how to do a Thai massage, right? Next one. Let's do the next one. Is it this one? This one is receiving presents, receiving gifts. Yes, this is one of the languages there, and this is gifts. Okay, it's getting darker. Ooh. So what kind of a love language is that? Well, basically, that's probably the easiest and on the surface the most. It's like you should, like, everyone understands gifts, right? The other thing that for the person whose love language is presents, it's crucial for you to have all the presents for all the occasions, all the holidays, of course, on his birthday, New Year's, or any kind of like big events. This is crucial for that person to have this in his life, and you have to give your partner the presents, and like the how can I say, the equivalent representation of his love language. So basically it's present. It doesn't mean you have to give your partner something huge all the time. For the person whose love language is presence, it can be just something that you made your own, like, you know, if you bought something on the way home that you know that your partner needs. I don't know, you need like a pen, razor, like anything that like, and it's kind of a small present, you know, or you can make it with your own. You can just make it, like, you can do some kind of a postcard that you made it just yourself, right? I think it's getting completely dark. So the present can be handmade. It can be like anything small, you know. You can bring him like a starfish from somewhere, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna be really, really important for him. Yeah, it might sound silly for some people, but you know, again, there's another misconception that a lot of girls, this is the language for a lot of girls. Okay, I'm gonna switch on. Change the scenery. One second, sorry. Yeah. So, and this is another misconception, that girls' love language is usually presence. Not necessarily, you know. It's like the same thing as with physical touch for guys. It doesn't mean that. Let me have some kind of a pretty view for you. Is that pretty? Not that much. Okay, just put it here. Is that pretty? It's not necessarily that girls' love language is presence, although it's like a really, really big thing. Yes, we do like presents, we do like flowers, we do like small things, some kind of a gesture of attention that's expressed with presence. But again, when you have abundance, you're not necessarily... Will you download your video? Download the video, you mean? Yeah, this video is going to be on IGTV later on, and we're going to download it, I'm going to upload it on the on YouTube. You mean this video to Mila's content platforms? Yes, of course it will be. Hello, dobry wieczór. And so, but again, it's not like a lot of girls, like, it can be like, okay, the presents are really important for the girls, but her love language can be the time together. And when you come and you bring flowers and then you run away, she doesn't feel loved, because her love language is not presence. Her love language is time spent together, and you just, like, you know, buying her with your presence, you know. It's like J-Lo's thing, like, my love don't cost a thing, right? But again, a lot of people, a lot of girls and men, they do have the presence as a love language, and again, it can be like balloon like this. You can just bring the person like this, and he's gonna be happy. He's gonna feel loved, because this is his language of love. So again, not necessarily some kind of a posh thing. Okay, nice, good. Yeah, it's good that you're practicing. So not only Mila's lessons and Mila's perspective and important things in life, but also English, which is also important. So what for this person is crucial to do? You gotta, like, do some kind of a small things, you know. Again, you're buying something on your way home, you do some kind of a like Sunday gifts. You can do the tradition of doing like gifts once a week or something. And if you like, what not to do is when you're missing out, when you don't celebrate and you don't give any kind of presents. Like, you know, even if you did the present, that you missed the mark, that, you know, you did some kind of a present that is not suitable for a person. Again, you're buying the, I don't know, razor for a girl you barely know. This is a silly situation, and it's not completely polite. But for a girl whose love language is present, she's gonna be, okay, that's silly, but she's gonna actually feel something like, okay, that's really nice. Or if you're buying the Christmas tree in summer, You know, it's completely irrelevant, and you don't need to. It's not Christmas. There's not Christmas tree here. Promise, almost. Okay, so and it feels like completely irrelevant, completely unnecessary, but it's actually that's actually makes her feel like loved, you know. For the girl whose love language is love words of affirmation, she's gonna be like, what the hell did you bring here, like what? But for the girl or for a man whose love language is presence, it's gonna be really, really, really important and really, really contributing, right? So, and what's about presence? Presence is like, yeah, don't forget any kind of occasions, because you might think, oh yeah, and another thing to offend the person who loves presents is when you're actually not putting an effort into making a present. You know, all those kind of jokes that we have, like on International Women's Day or Men's Day, Russian Defenders Day, when you give some kind of a really lousy present. For example, you go to the store and you buy a shampoo as a present. Like neither for girls nor for men is just gonna be like, okay, you didn't put any effort in it, you know. Like if it's your partner, and yeah, receiving a present as a shampoo at your workplace, for like, I don't know, from the person on the street, maybe it's nice, yeah, like, you know, it's present, right? If your love language is present, you're just gonna be like, oh, that's nice. But if your partner is actually putting zero efforts into making you a present, that's gonna be hurtful. Don't do that for the person. And of course, if your partner's love language is presence, make sure you do so. It doesn't matter what exactly, but put some efforts and put some. And of course, if your person's love language is presence, and you're investing a lot of time and money in this present, if her favorite color is maroon, like dark red, or like, I don't know, like, yeah, let's do just a maroon, and you're giving her the Ferrari in the color of maroon color, that is super rare, and you had to dig like half of the world in order to find this Ferrari in exactly the color that she loves, and her love language is presence, she's gonna be loved more than you like gonna spend time with her. That's true. And it doesn't matter if like a lot of how many words are you gonna say, or how many hugs are you gonna give to her. If her love language is presence, just make sure you do them, and do them for any other girls as well. Because yeah, there is a thing that we're actually having this as is our primary language, this one, and the words of affirmation. And for men, of course, as I call that in general. But then after a while, you're gonna find out not exactly, but the first probably. And the last love language is help. Help me. Help me. Help. I need help. Well, basically in English, and proper name, it's not help. It's actually acts of service, right? So this is actually when you're serving your partner, when you're actually doing some kind of some things for him. For me, it's actually quite hard at the moment to understand the difference between presence and act of service, because, well, yeah, act of service is usually like an action, but it's actually can be a purchase, and purchase is often goes as a present for me, you know. And some services might count as as a present, right? So this is kind of a misconception for me personally, but I guess you understand, when you're actually having some kind of acts of service is when your duty is washing dishes at home, and he's doing it for you, and your love language is acts of service. Then you feel loved at this moment, because this is actually because you received some like really important things for you, right? So when he's picking up children, when he's picking up groceries, when he's doing some kind of a stuff like maybe routine for you, you know, when he's like doing like going and buying those dinner for you instead of you cooking it, you know, because that's that's where I'm starting to think, like, is it a present or is it a help when he's actually taking care of everything? I guess mostly help, but it gets a little bit confusing. But yes, whenever you feel like, when girls don't know how to fix their bathroom, their toilet or something, and the man comes and helping her. When the man doesn't know how to have his apartment clean, and his love language is help, acts of service, and he's actually, and the girl's coming and she's like cleaning all the apartment and cooking something for him, he actually feels loved, right? Maybe let's do something, I don't know, if his love language is help, and he's one in the business and he needs help exactly in his business, and she starts to count something for him, he actually feels loved. And vice versa. If it's your love language, then you probably know those situations when you don't when you ask for help, and you don't receive it. This is when you feel the most like neglected and hurt, and this is not gonna. You gotta explain to your partner that this is very important for you. This is how you feel loved, right? Again, this is sometimes not really useful in society in general. Like, oh, this is his duty. Why would I do that? Like, if he's like duty at home, if his love language is active service, then you're just gonna contribute in your relationship, brick by brick, but you're just gonna build it up, and they're just gonna make you as a couple stronger. And if you want to both work on that, then perfect, do so. So how to find out what kind of a, right, did I say? Yeah, so basically if your partner's love language is help, active service, then first of all, never ever ignore whatever they're asking you to do. If they're asking you to peel the potato, peel the potato. If they're asking you to go to groceries, go to groceries. If they're asking you, again, if I'm gonna ask someone to bring me flowers, is that a present or act of service? Not really. A little bit confusing. That's why, and I get it actually as my main one. And like, is that a present? Is that an act of service? I don't really understand. And yes, you have to have one language as the primer, as like this. That this is your love language. It can be you're gonna have like all of those. It can be that you have like a couple of those. You can have a couple, but there's still gonna be one main one that is really important for you, right? So, and sometimes it gets a little bit confusing. Most of the people who doesn't know what kind of a love language they have, completely, they're just like, I don't know what kind of language do I love. There's two type of people who receive all of love languages all the time, and there's another one who receive none, right? So who doesn't really feel loved, who doesn't really feel receive any kind of those things. And it actually gets hard to understand what kind of love language do you have in general. And first, what that you can do is just go on. There's so many online tests that you can actually find out. You can just Google it, 5 languages of love tests, and you can go through several, because you cannot do it going through one and only. There's no a specific test on the official Gary Chapman channel or something like that. There's a lot of theories, and there's a lot of people who stick to those theories, and they all develop all kind of a test, all kind of things there. So in order to understand for you what kind of language that you have, you've got to take multiple. There's really nice 3. There's 3 ways to check it up. First of all, how did your parents express their love for you? Just go through your past and check, what do you think, how did your parents express their love to you? Did they give you presents? Did they spend time with you just like that? Did they say you a bunch of words of affirmation, words of love, words of appreciation? Did they help you with your homework and doing yeah, let me help you with that, let me do this, let me do that? Did they hug you a lot? Did they, when mommy sleep with you in the same bed because you've asked, or you just having a nice time just together by hugging each other? That means that's there's really high chances that your love language is going to be the one that your parents showed you, because this is something that you're actually obtaining, and you can change it as well. And check about the first instinct. So there's a thing happening that a lot of people confuse their love language with how do they express love. So, and they start to that's why miscommunication happening. So my love language, for example, is presence, and the other person's language is quality time together. And what am I doing? I'm just giving presence, not just spending time together, not like just doing like whatever, we're just gonna see each other later, there's your present. And at the same time, he's gonna be like, okay, I don't need, like, I want you to be with me here, and I'm ready to give you my time. Let's just communicate. Let's have a quality time together, and not giving presents and being like, why do you give me this presents? I don't need it. I want you next to me, like, you know. And they clearly do not understand each other. This person feels loved when he has a present, and this person feels loved when he has a quality time together. There's no good and bad in that. This is just how people feel. This is how they live, and this is why it gets confusing, and this is why it's like, you know, it sounds like a different language that you actually have to learn, right? With your person, and when you're actually expressing something, when you think that you express love, that might not seem like love from the outside, you know, and something that you feel like you don't care about, or something that you get annoyed with, it may be that someone like that, like your partner, is expressing love towards you, which is like kind of funny and sounds maybe a little bit ridiculous, but it is what it is. That's why I need to speak what exactly. But this is a really cool way to indicate what kind of love language do you have. If you see the person that you think that you love, you're like really, really affectionate to, if you're like really into that person, ask yourself, what do you want to do for him in order to express your love? If you're saying, I'm gonna tell them everything that I feel, that there's a high chance that your love language is words of affirmation, that you need to receive it. If you're gonna tell, I'm gonna help with whatever he wants to do, if he needs, this is gonna be an act of service. And if you want to hug this person to death, just like gonna be like, oh my god, he's so amazing, let me hug him, that means that that might mean that your love language is physical touch. And the last and really, really important way to check which kind of love language is yours is think about what hurt you a lot, what hurt you last time really, really bad, that you received from your partner, that made you feel really unwanted, unneeded, unloved, unliked, you know, like completely being like completely bad, in a bad situation. Just remember, what was it? Yeah, it's not pleasant, but it's actually really productive. So and in a while you actually can see like, okay, that what exactly were you hurt with? Were you hurt with the words that he said? Were you hurt that he ditched on you and did something, like, instead of spending time with you? That means that his love language is like time together. Is it the fact that he forgot to give you any present for like March 8th? He didn't. If there was like a man or a woman, doesn't matter, like close person to you, who doesn't give you like a cookie for March 8th, even though like he knows, or like, no, he doesn't. It doesn't necessarily. Look at this. It's a lie. So if you haven't received anything from the person who's important for you, and it hurts you really bad, that means that your love language is presence. If you're really upset that you're spending time with your partner, but you're not really hugging each other, and you don't hold hands and don't do this stuff like that, then your love language is physical touch, right? And etc. etc. Just remember what exactly is so hurtful for you, that you're actually do not want to have anymore, and check what exactly what the lack of what is actually hurting you. That's your love language. Okay, so there's a really important thing that, and according to Gary Chapman, and according to Milas, and according to a lot of really, I would say, like scientists and love science, and a lot of couples, like, so really big outcome out of Gary Chapman's book is that love is something that is a choice. Love is a choice, and love is a verb. So basically, you need to just do this thing. So basically, if you're in a relationship for a while, if you're married, if you've been married for a while, if you live together for a while, or you're just having some kind of like downhill in your relationship, although you've been together for, it doesn't matter how much, and you feel that you're not that really, your relationship is not really strong, you need to check this thing that Gary Chapman called it the fuel tank, and Mila has the emotional bank definition. So basically, is when you're what's the emotional bank or fuel tank, love fuel tank, is how much love do you have between you and your spouse. So you need to check like how big is that. That means that you're doing something that fulfills his necessity in love, right? If his love language is presence, then give him presents. Give him a nice dinner that he really likes. Buy him something on your way home. Do something like buy something extra. Make like a home like handmade things, something like that. Buy him a new shirt. Like, and never ever forget to give him a presents on his birthday, New Year's, or something like that. If her love language is hugs, my language is physical touch, then hug me and hold my hand and have sex with me, make a lot of love with me, like maybe do some kind of like a head massage and do something like that, like, right? So, and whenever you do in a couple, I mean, not specifically you, whenever in a couple all these things happen, that you're actually expressing your love the way your partner wants, not you want, your partner wants. Because it might be like, okay, my love language is presence, so I'm gonna give him presents, but his love language is quality time together, and he doesn't want my present. He wants to sit and have like a nice, thoughtful, meaningful eye contact with me, a conversation with me or something. You have to express this the way he loves, and of course you have to talk about it. If you don't know don't assume, don't guess what kind of a language your partner has. Just do it, right? So just do it. Just ask him and just speak about it and express it. And actually, your spouse can say, your partner can say you what he actually thinks that your love language is. But it's never like that. Like it's not like the other person tells you what kind of love language you have, because this is something you feel inside. You cannot. No one can tell you from outside what kind of love language do you have, right? So he might think, or she might think, that your love language is presence, because you're like always like, yeah, this is so nice. Or you might think that his love language is physical touch, because he likes sex. Like a lot of men like sex, like, right? But his love language might be words of affirmation. And he wants to hear from you that he's really important for you, that he really supports you, and have like this like really important thing discussed, you know. So what was I saying? I was leading to something with my previous thought, but I forgot. Okay, so yes, love is a choice, and you have to fill this fuel tank, like love fuel tank or emotional bank. You have to practice this love language. So basically, when you know his love language, you do a ritual every day, once a week, once a month. Doesn't matter. It's better when you do like all the time. Whenever you do, just his love language is words of affirmation, and you just text him like throughout the day how you love him, how you support him, and maybe telling him, you know, you're handsome, you have a pretty butt, like, why not, right? And then maybe once a month you want to do some kind of a dinner when you're gonna do like a really important and really big speech about how you love him, how you appreciate everything he does for you. And of course you have to do it in return, because it's a two-way street. You have to do it mutually. He's gonna do it for you, you're gonna do it for him. And if your love language is present, just ask him and tell him, you know, I would love you to bring me something today like this. And he's gonna tell you yes, or he's gonna tell you no. Just do it in one, like, nothing bad in just saying that. What exactly do you want? Or if your love language is act of service, yes, you need to ask him to put the shelf on the wall several times, like, or hit that nail for that painting that you want to put already for several times. And yeah, you need to have a conversation that is important for you to feel that. And you know, with an action comes a feeling. So whenever you're doing you're doing a mutual thing, if you lost the sparkle, if you lost something in your love, just do what's important for your partner, not for yourself. No, this is not the selfish stage when you think about yourself. No, you're maintained, you have everything good. If you want to have your relationship built together, then you need to do something that's important for him. It's not don't fall into codependency when you cannot actually do something without him. Of course, take care of your needs first, and then build in your relationship and contribute to that, and do something that your partner actually wants. I think that's, yeah, action first, feelings will follow. That's exactly what I was just talking about right now. And yeah, don't assume, just ask what's important for the other person that you love and want to have a meaningful life with, right? So this was an intake for 5 Languages of Love by Dr. Gary Chapman. I hope you enjoyed it. The video is going to be uploaded on the short version on IGTV, and YouTube is going to be a full version of that. And love your partners, love everyone who's around you with the love language that they want to have, they want to feel. And don't be afraid to express yours, and find out your love language. Find it out. This is really important. This is one of the most important things to do. Okay, thank you for staying. I was pretty chit-chatty today, right? Thank you for staying online on Mila Livchuk's account. Wishing you a really amazing day, evening, and spring. And shall I light the candles? No, not light the candles. Bye-bye. Have a good night.